So I had some questions that I was percolating, and one of them is, why is Jacob Borders so passionate on the theme of worship?
There was a period of time where I wasn't, walking as close as I could have been. Just simple things, looking at porn and marriage and how much it damaged my marriage. And God bless Cheyenne. She's been so merciful. She did not withhold mercy. I mean, she made it clear what hurt her.
She got hurt.
Yes, but she did not, because this girl went through a lot of trauma with a past fellow before me. So me doing that obviously did not help. But, and it went on, you think you're doing good, I'm going to get straight. And then you get so discouraged that you fall again, and it sparks another spiral. And she's...
What did that do to your relationship with her?
It's kind of hard to say because we're really good now. We are pretty phenomenal, and but it's just it put distance.
Yeah.
I say it definitely put a distance between us, and it didn't, and a loss of intimacy, I guess, I would say. But to go on with the question of why am I so passionate, I was reading Ephesians 4. I was reading actually the whole book of Ephesians.
Right.
And I got to Ephesians 4, I think it's 4:20 something. And it was like, since you have learned Jesus and know the truth that Jesus brings, therefore throw away your old self. And that, corrupted with lust and deception, and let the Spirit renew your mind, created to be like God of righteousness and holy.
Right.
And I couldn't even really explain, like, it was nothing I did. The Spirit just made that known in my heart. And, like, I don't know, from right then and there, I kind of changed. It's nothing I even did. Like, the Lord just brought me out of that routine that I had, and that the damage I've done, and just brought me out of it completely, and, like, took me aside, and He renewed my mind. Like, my relationship with Him is just much. He brought me to another place that I wasn't even at before. And He's been. I thought I was a good person. Like, I thought I was good because I was a good kid. All throughout high school, I was relatively a good boy.
You weren't a rebel.
No, I wasn't a rebel, and I've always been a Christian, and I thought I was good because of just who I thought I was. And I realized I was no good. When I walked through this period of time where I realized how much I need Jesus.
Yeah.
And I realized I was no good, and He's everything good. I got a way better understanding of the gospel than I've ever had. I don't even say I feared the Lord that much before as much as I do now. In a health, and like not a, I'm afraid,
that's
but like
fascinating. I've noticed a shift in you this last year.
Yeah, he's been so good. I never even touched my Bible before. And now it's like, I got to read my Bible at some point today because I'm going to, like every day I have to get into it. It's just like, I can't even explain the type of shift that He put in me, but I just realized that like, I'm not good. He is everything. Him. Like, I need Him. Yeah. He is... Like, I need to start, like, I want to start my day with Him. When I don't, I can tell a difference in my behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I can just tell a difference. And like, He's so close. Like, he's just with me all day. It's the one thing is, like, really come to notice is just how close He's just with me all day. I talk to Him at work.
You show up ready, because the way you live, you show up ready. Plus, we've just had practice. Like Cheyenne or Carrie coming in with the kids in tow, it's like it's a heck of a lot of work and stress just to get here, and then to have somebody be like, "Be spiritual on 3, 2, 1, go," and they're like, and you're like, "What? Give me 10 minutes to calm all this stuff."
I got a line.
Yeah, but my joke is like, Jacob, because of the way you live, you just all you need is 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah,
and I think that's true.
Yeah. Sometimes I need to step for a minute and go realign myself. That's more than sometimes. But anyway.
So the answer to that question, why are you so passionate
It's because
about...
I've walked a period of time where I was not as close to him, and it just made me realize how good he is, and everything he is good, and how much I need him. I need him.
David says, as for me, it is good to be near the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And you read that stuff as a brand new Christian, and you're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But there's something to it when you've lived enough seasons to see that in some seasons you were closer to the Lord than in others. I said this to Israel on the way to church today because we're talking about someone we both love, who's not walking with Jesus closely right now. And I said, I have observed a lot of lives. I've not once seen somebody go away from Jesus and end up with more hope, more joy, more peace, more purpose.
Yeah, I've come to really realize that worship is our life in obedience, and rather just a Sunday morning praise.
Yeah.
It's like it's our walk with the Lord, and I don't want to disappoint him. It's just a matter of I don't want to grieve the Holy Spirit. So it's become rather easy for me to put that whole thing back.
That's amazing.
It's become it hasn't even really been a struggle.
It's a common pitfall. That's why the book is called Every Man's Battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I talk to so many guys and gals that experience almost an inability to feel good about themselves. It's one thing to say the Lord's good, and it's another thing to feel good, knowing that you are not mastered by anything. You're not mastered by anything shameful that causes you to want to hate yourself or withdraw from the presence of God. Just recently, somebody asked me, does God ever get sick and tired of me asking for forgiveness, Tim, for the same thing over and over again? And the heart was just their heart was ready to break. And I said, I hear what you're saying. I said, I know he doesn't get sick and tired of forgiving us for the same thing over and over again, but I think you sound sick and tired of falling in the same area again and again and again. You sound tired of it.
And that was me too.
Yeah. Okay. So I asked why you're so passionate about worship, but you didn't even talk about music at all, which actually I find encouraging because one of my pet peeves is that when we hear the word worship,
music sounds good.
We immediately say the worship time is the song set. Worship in the Old Testament is consistently associated with sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Music is added later at David's time.
Yeah.
But sacrifice is essential and from the beginning. And I fear in our time, we've made music the main thing, and the offering, the sacrifice part, is almost forgotten.
Yeah.
We actually think that it's supposed to feel good, and if it doesn't, the team screwed up. Instead of saying, this service is for Jesus, and I'm here to pour myself out like a drink offering on the altar with all my surrender and all my adoration. So that was the second passage I was thinking of for today was 2 Samuel 24, where David says, I will not sacrifice to the Lord burnt offerings that cost me nothing.
Yep. I just read 2 Samuel.
And you said one morning that my son Israel, his worship isn't the drumming. It's getting up earlier than he wants to.
And showing up to church to be there.
And putting up with us. He has, he's a teenager.
Poor boy. We just hammer him so much.
All he wants is rock and roll. And we have these intimate songs, and he just wants to rock.
Yeah.
And have fun and enjoy it. Yeah, you're right. We're super critical. And play this instead. Don't play that.
Especially this morning. I had to apologize. It was so funny.
I loved that. I loved when you said his worship isn't his music. It's the little deaths to self.
Mm-hmm. It's the giving up yourself.
Giving up 2 extra hours of sleep.
Yeah.
and putting up with sitting on that drum stool, which he thinks is so uncomfortable, and we need a better one.
It's pretty bad.
Is it bad?
It's a little bad. I've come to just kind of block it out during the sets, but
why don't we just replace the drum throne?
Because they're like hundreds of dollars.
Okay. Can't we just...
Vincent has a really nice one.
Steal his.
It's like,
he doesn't care.
He doesn't. That's what they say, and just tying in this with like working out. Like you get the most results if you're like you don't feel like going, you're tired. You're tired and you don't feel like going, and like you're physically like just exhausted, and you go anyway. And there's a lot of people say that's when you reap most of the benefits.
Yeah. What else you want to talk about?
Well, that's this past year. That's just where I've been at.
I think I was visiting somebody up in Smyrna, like the rehab facility or whatever they call that, in my car waiting for the security people to take us in and take us through the metal detector and all that. So I have limited time. And I get this phone call from, oh, it's Jacob. I better answer this. See what's going on. And you're in tears, almost unable to talk. Do you remember this?
How long ago was this?
It was on a Saturday. You and Cheyenne had a fight about something. And the Holy Spirit started just counseling you, taking you back through your childhood.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. The reason I didn't remember what you're talking about is because Cheyenne and I's little fight, it was such a small fight. It was so insignificant to the whole experience that I did not. So, yeah. So it was, and it let out a lot of hurts that I didn't even realize I was carrying. And
so it was a small fight, but a big hurt came out.
Yeah. So I went into the room and I wept and I poured out and I was crying out and I realized halfway through what he was doing. So I was like, what else? I didn't not halfway through, but I didn't really pick up on it until later. But yeah, I was just.
What do you mean? What else?
Like, what else am I carrying? So like, what else? What else? Okay, I'm on a roll here. I was just, things, and my parents' divorce, what you go through as a child through that time. Yeah, and I was just pouring it out, and I felt like he gave me complete forgiveness over all of it. Like you said, like where the perpetrator no longer is your enemy. And it's just like I just had complete understanding. Just
you were able to differentiate.
I was able to
what was intentional.
Make reason to okay, I understand why this was like this.
So it's
and I understand that I wasn't the only one hurting, and I wasn't the only one. It's not like it wasn't about me in this. There were reasons to why this happened, and everyone else had something going on at the same time. Oh yeah.
I specifically remember you saying something like the endless hours you spent alone.
Yeah.
And how heartbroken and lonely you were.
I had a lot of time. I had a lot of times for alone because at one point it was just me going back and forth between my mom's house and my dad. Had to work Saturdays, so like weekends was just me alone in the house, and that's how I picked up piano. And the Holy Spirit told me. I'm not even going to say I told myself because, and I was reading, let's see, it's probably in Exodus or Leviticus because that's when they were building the tabernacle and the Lord gave them the spirit of skill.
Yeah.
And this is a side note. And while I was mowing, I was like, because it's not terribly hard for me to pick up an instrument, and it's not. I feel like. None of this is because of my own skill that I have.
You also mow very straight rows. I don't care about
and I get super frustrated if I don't mow straight. If I'll come back and I'll see my line isn't straight. It makes me mad. A lot of times when I mow, I'll end up in tears. Just praising. A lot of times, which is if I have time by myself. That kind of usually where it ends up at. And
you're a crier.
I can't help it. When the Spirit, if the Spirit falls on me, I can't help but weep. I can't help but weep. Last night at Hickory Ridge Ignite, which was awesome, but Stan was, and I thought of Stan because Stan was like, the Lord's been telling me to come up and just lay down on get down on my knees and lay down on my face, and I'm like, oh boy. And he's like, and right when I do, the Spirit hits me so hard, and I was like, the Lord told me to go up there and get on your knees, and
did you notice Stan didn't today, but other people did, and then they were dancing and stuff?
Yeah.
I thought Stan not going up there. Somebody else was like, I'm carrying the weight. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? I'll do it. you know.
But as soon as I went up there and got on my knees, it's just the Spirit fell, and I just wept for the rest of the night.
Those times are so sweet.
And to go back to that, though, the time where I was just letting things out that I was hurting about, that a lot of things that I probably did know about, but just kind of, they're not big deal. But and by the end of that day, we were working on the shop. I was actually building the salon at this time, and
The hair cutting salon.
Yes,
Which is done.
it is done.
And she's working in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been nice. It's been nice. Just I tell you what, just having her, like, if she goes out to work and it's like a Saturday and she's home, worth it. That was worth all the money we spent on it, draining our like. It was worth all the stress because it was very stressful building it.
Projects are fun.
They are fun, but by the end of that day, I was just weeping in pure joy, weeping in the joy that I have in Jesus.
I think that day was the turning point.
Yeah. Now,
Because from then till now, it's been an ongoing process and theme. But that was the day that I remember saying, something's going on with Jacob Borders.
yeah, and of course, I've had Jeremy Riddle's album, Jesus Have It, Live in a Prayer Room, on repeat like that whole day. And not that the music has anything to
It
do
helps.
with it, but man,
It helps.
I'm in love with it. I still am in love with that whole album.
I said this today, didn't I? Something like when you're 16, 3 months feels like a long time, and it's like the equivalent of 10 years in your 30s or 40s.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
an album can come out in 2017 and it's new to me and it's 2023 right now and people are like, what?
I'm like that with quite a few songs. But last night was great. At least me, like in my mindset of like, if someone goes to go down their knees, they usually have something like a burden that they're carrying that need to unload. But like I just went because I was like just bowing in worship.
Yeah.
Just in awe. Like, and I realized it was so nice.
Isn't it nice to be led instead of just...
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was going to say. It was so nice. Like I haven't been not on stage in a long time, especially during a worship service. And that was so nice. That's why I've been like, I just long to go. Like I just want to be led in worship. And I realized I didn't sing much at all.
Huh.
I prayed a lot and spoke out loud.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I was like, man, I can't wait till we get some more numbers on stage here, so we can all have a rotating schedule to have that time to
a better
be
balance.
Yeah, a better balance.
Yeah.
I love being on stage, and I've had
I totally
just
get
times where like the Spirit has hit us so heavy up there. It's just it's also like not about the breaks either. It's just like it can be the same up there or down there. But I do understand. Like I do know. Like it was nice.
I just don't want to get to the point where I'm
have.
phoning it in.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have that sustaining grace for the musical side of it,
Yeah.
whereas for me, the proclaiming side of it fills me up.
I've been quite surprised myself that I have not been quite drained.
That you don't burn out.
I just like yeah. It's just and recently it's just been like something new every week.
Neither does Doug, by the way. That's when I feel God. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like you
Don't
said,
give me breaks. That'll tick me off. It's like, this is real comment, you know.
I love Doug.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like
I got another question.
yeah.
Okay, so describe your vision of what it is we're actually doing.
Well, what's kind of been on my mind, like, and on my heart and on my spirit is I'm coming and I'm glorifying the Lord, and that's my one thing I want to do here. You know what I mean?
Nope. Say more words.
So nope, that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Don't define any terms or give
No,
examples. Just
like as I don't know, as I'm not like as the worship pastor is just it's been on my heart to like, and it's been my passion to like my primary focus is coming here, and I'm not expecting worship to go one way. I'm just laying out my heart, and like I'm just, like my focus is to pray, like to bless the Lord, praise the Lord, like He is good, and like remind ourselves consistently of His goodness. That seems to pump my spirit up.
So you just said something that's probably psychologically important. you're less focused on, did the show go the right way? Like, I had a friend who referred to the big, beautiful, organized, talented church she was on staff. The Sunday morning she referred to as the show. And I hear you saying your goal and your real focus on a Sunday morning is not make sure the show goes well, but make sure your heart is genuinely engaging God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear you saying. And that's also what I see you doing.
Yeah. That's it.
We actually worship while we practice. And all the stop-start is like hard on your...
I can understand. I consistently need, coaching. I consistently need to learn. I'm consistently learning.
Well, I'm the pickiest of all of us, so...
Well, that's good, though.
Don't you think so?
It can be. It can be.
And then
I was pretty picky today, though.
We were both. We were both picky.
Poor Israel.
Me. Play more idiosyncratic hi-hats. Do polyrhythms in there.
I feel like it's such a punch in the face if I get on there and try to...
Well, at least you got on there and showed like how loud you wanted it.
Yeah. Although he still didn't play that loud.
Well, he had wide eyes like, holy smokes, he's trying to break the set.
I might just...
You know that cost $1,200, right, Jacob? You know?
Maybe I shouldn't.
Oh, no, it was great.
Okay.
It was great.
Good.
But I can't show him. He's better than me.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
He does good. He does very well. And usually when we just shut up and let him do what he wants to do, he usually does pretty well.
That's Doug's point.
Yeah.
We're like the little league dads that are yelling at the kids. Dude, get on that base. Do not take a step off that base. You know.
He's just standing there 3 feet off the base.
Yeah. And then the other parents are like, sweetheart, I promise you he's not going to tackle you and hit you. I'll protect you from him.
But man, these services have been going pretty well.
Yeah.
And Lord's really been showing up.
I like church. Church is fun.
Church has been great.
Church is good.
And even Cheyenne's like, man, I used to didn't feel like this, but like I so much look forward to Sundays now. And Cheyenne's faith has grown dramatically.
Yeah.
And like she's helped me in my faith multiple times. A lot of times in a humbling way.
What do you mean?
Well, I was just like, Cheyenne will not, she'll let me know when I'm just acting silly. Sometimes I can make excuses. A lot of times sometimes. A lot of times I will make excuses. And sometimes it'll be about little things all the way to big things. But like our communication to each other has gotten so much better. It's like, okay, our repenting to each other. Our like, just coming and saying, hey, I'm so like yesterday I was taking the dog to the vet and I was like, lady was here before me and you wait for them to open and then you sign in.
What's your vet?
4 Paws.
Okay, 4 Paws, yeah.
Yeah, we love Dr. Mike. We love them. So we were 4 Paws, and they have a walk-in hours. They're the only one with walk-in hours. And I'm already frustrated because this is not our dog. This is her parents' dog. But like we just gave them this puppy. It's not even we just gave them this puppy, and the puppy's having a problem with poop. So it is our responsibility to take care of it. I will say that. But I'm like, is this gonna become a thing? I'm just, I'm just going through all like selfish reasons that I have to be there.
It's like your only
because
day
it takes up your whole morning.
It's your only day off.
And I have the Presley with me, and she's very fussy this morning. And they don't open till 9. They got there like 8:30, but they don't sign in till 9, and then they open at 10 to start calling people.
Oh my word!
Yeah, so I was there till like 12, pretty much.
With a baby.
Yes, with Press. And I dropped Hudson off at her parents. Her parents are awesome. They take the kids anytime if we need them. They also just want them all the time.
That's cool.
They've been great grandparents. Oh, such good grandparents. They really are. So we have this this puppy there, and we're on the phone. I'm talking. There is one lady here before me. So like if I go in there, like I'm actually going to let them go first. She's like, well, if you were at the door, just go and get in line, sign in, hurry up. Get in, get out. If you're first, you're first. If you get there, I was like, well, I'm gonna, let them go first if they've been here before me. And we were just arguing about that, and I called her like selfish. I called her selfish.
Here we go.
Yeah, trying to guide her in the right direction. I called her selfish. That was my mindset, and we hung up, and it was like the Holy Spirit was like, that's not the right. You should have handled that. Absolutely no. So like I called her up and I was like, I should not have called you selfish. That's not who you are. We've been on a roll lately with getting to back to the root of the discussion we were at, and knowing that we're just throwing defensive comments, and we don't insult each other.
That's good.
Thank God. But we're doing pretty. I'd say we're doing pretty.
How many
well.
dogs you got now?
5.
5 dogs?
5 dogs. We had 8 with the puppies. Got rid of the puppies. Now we have
5 dogs.
5 dogs.
And what else do you have? You have rabbits?
No.
Ducks.
Just two kids.
Ponies?
No. Chickens?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not yet.
No goats?
Well, we had ducks. One of the dogs killed the ducks. In malicious intent.
But to be fair, the ducks had it coming. No.
And poor baby ducks. It was on July 4th.
Oh, that's a terrible.
It was on July
my
4th. They were this small. Just you can hold them in one hand.
That's terrible.
And they were beautiful ducks, and they were just warming up to us. And
Oh man.
it was our dachshund Yorkie that killed them, and then crapped in their box, and then left. Didn't eat them. Just
That
didn't eat them.
That
just,
ticks you off right there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was so mad at that
Just
dog.
vindictive behavior.
Just maliciously. Just.
We had a Jack Russell in Kentucky named Chloe. Apologies to anyone named Chloe, who's not a dog right now. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah.
You like the name, so we're like, oh, we'll just name the dog. No, that's not how you honor a name. You don't give it to a dog if you want to honor a name. And Chloe found a nest of baby rabbits in the neighbor's yard, and we heard high pitched shrieking, and I was like, what the heck's that? And go out, she's tearing them apart, and I'm like, rush over and stop her. We rescued some of them, and I think we raised a baby rabbit, feeding it sweetened condensed milk from an eyedropper till it was big enough to eat clover and different things, and we actually set that baby rabbit loose so that it could be eaten by the wild animals.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a rescue story, if maybe.
Yeah.
Question mark? We
Raised for slaughter.
Yeah, we dulled its fine-tuned senses so that it would not.
You made it not be able to take care of himself, but only know how to rely on someone else to take care of you, and then you just set them loose into the wild.
Yes, like timid dodo birds that don't know to run when you're being attacked. Yeah, because that was why they all died. Oh. They died because they had no fight or flight response, because they had no predators, so they didn't evolve to have any kind of fear response to being eaten alive.
My only knowledge of dodo birds is in Ice Age.
Flightless, edible meals on feet.
They just sat there and wait for you to take their life.
Yeah, if you're a dog, it's like they all just, you know how in the cartoons they look at each other when they're hungry and they turn into like a rotisserie chicken? Just walking around. Yeah.
Smoking and everything.
Is there anything you wanted to say before I asked you sillier questions? I mean,
did you notice that fly that was attacking me this morning? During service?
We've had flies.
It kept landing on my face during the service, during up on stage. It was hard for me to stay focused. I was getting pretty mad at this fly.
That's annoying.
If you heard, and at one moment I was like, just blew right into the mic. You could hear.
I didn't even know. No.
You didn't even hear it?
No,
I blew right into the mic to try and get rid of this fly.
I was kind of obsessing with trying to play good guitar parts. I was obsessing a little today. So I came home and told Israel about my amp. I said, Israel, I took the pedal out of the mix. I plugged directly into the amp. And I'm telling you right now, buddy, I didn't get that thing past 30% of its level before it was so loud. It was almost uncontrollable craziness. Like I said, I should bring ear protection and turn it up to like 50%. I'd probably blow speakers then at that point. More silly questions. I already know your favorite food is peanut butter.
Yes.
Talk to me about your extreme love of peanut butter.
Ooh. It's what more do we need to know? It's peanut butter. It goes good with salty things. It goes good with sweet thing. Like I'll eat it with just a scoop with ice cream. You dip pretzels in it because it just goes well with everything.
Chocolate.
My one of our favorite meals is the canned bean with bacon soups with peanut butter sandwiches, and you dip them in the bean with bacon. bean with bacon soup.
And you dip the peanut butter sandwich
In the soup.
in the bean bacon
Now,
soup.
peanut butter sandwich goes, you can do it. It goes well with chicken noodle. Like, it goes well with a lot of different soups. You'd be surprised dipping a peanut butter sandwich into a soup is pretty delicious.
I just feel fat thinking about what we're talking about.
It's not. Okay. My question to you is, how thick do you lay your peanut butter on your sandwiches?
Pretty thick.
Yeah. I like a mad, like a couple knives worth of peanut butter on that sandwich. Like a dollop.
Do you have a
beef.
preferred peanut butter brand?
Well, right now we've been doing the all natural. This all natural.
I feel for your luck.
I will say it's not as good. It's not gonna be. I
Stop
love it.
telling me what you've been doing and tell me what you wish you were doing.
I love all peanut butter, and I love this peanut butter. That peanut butter with the real nuttiness complements a lot of things, like more than that creamy.
I like the creamy.
Oh, I do too. That's
great value creamy.
That's when we were getting the huge jars of the great value.
That's what I was about to say.
Walmart brand.
Somebody says, "You're out of peanut butter. Do you guys have any more?" And I go, "Do we have any more?" And I pull out this thing that's the size of my head, and I'm like, "Is this enough?" And they're like, "That ought to do it."
That's what we
if the whole grid goes down and there's no grocery stores, my family could probably live off that one jar of peanut butter for at least a week.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
It has the calories.
Kids eat a lot.
But we just tried to get away from a lot of the harsher ingredients, non-natural ingredients they put in foods, especially in American foods.
Aren't you the dude who doesn't use soap?
Me?
What did you say to me? You don't shower often on purpose?
Oh, I don't know if this is embarrassing to say, but I probably shower twice a week. I feel like that's.
Well, you don't sleep in my bed,
natural.
so it's not going to hurt me.
I feel like that's pretty natural. Now, if I have like a dirty job where I come and I know I'm filthy,
covered in sweat.
I'm like, I need the shower.
So let me get this straight. It's Saturday night. You got church in the morning. Do you shower?
I shower. I usually shower the morning of church.
The morning of church.
I usually shower.
Do you guys have to change your sheets all the time because they just have brown spots where you people lay?
Well, we do change our sheets a little often.
Right.
Yeah.
I will be honest. My pillowcase gets pretty raggedy. Carrie's looks nice, and mine's all frumpy looking, and this one was naturally yellow, correct? No, it was white. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I think you told me that sometime, and I think I told you, gross.
Gross.
No. I think I told you about how ancient Romans, instead of bathing in water, would often just slather themselves in olive oil, and then they would use a shell, like a squeegee, to scrape off the oil so that the dirt would stick to the oil, and you're moisturized and cleaned and exfoliated all in one swoop.
I just feel like that takes way more time than bathing.
Maybe that's why they had servants. Servant, bathe me in oil.
Scraping.
Squeegee me with the shell now. Thank you very much. Which reminds me of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh yeah.
How did he get off the island? And he's like, he roped sea turtles together and rowed them out like it was a boat. And she says, "Where did he get the rope?" And he overhears and says, "Human hair from my back."
From my back.
How do you end these things? What are you going to do tonight?
Well, Shai and I haven't really seen much of each other this weekend, so I'm just going to go home and
watch some TV in the other room.
No, we don't have a TV in our bedroom. If we want to watch TV, we go out to the living room.
I had a great idea based on what I saw at the dentist the other day with Caroline. She's real sensitive, so we take her to a special dentist for sensitive children. And I look up at the ceiling, and they have TVs mounted to the ceiling so that the kids, while they're getting their treatments, they can put the nitrous oxide or whatever it is that they put on the laughing gas. They put it over the mask. And Caroline actually laughs when they put it on her, like she's giggling. It's so funny.
That's got to be so adorable.
You want me to leave? Can I leave? Because I'm like, please let me leave, because I'm not a fan of watching medical procedures in real life. But I always seem to get stuck in the room with somebody cutting on a bone or something. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Hey, you need to come on.
Guy was
It's the last place you want to be.
Yeah, he's got a razor knife and he's cutting a piece of glass out of Israel's foot, and I can hear it scraping against the blade against the glass and everything. And
Yeah.
he goes, man, this is really in there. And I'm like, I'm really going to pass out. You know? It was fine.
Someone
I'm
get a
about
mic
to-
up to this and
Holy smokes. But I noticed they had TVs on the ceiling. And I was like,
pretty smart.
I want that.
I wonder.
I want to be able to lay on my back and just, yep. But my wife had one too, so we're both watching separate things. She's like, she has hers mounted this way so she can just scroll Instagram. just airplay the phone up to the ceiling. You know. All right. Thanks for talking.
Yeah.
This was weird.
This was
Because
weird.
of me, I made it weird.
No.
I made it weird.
This is a lot of our.
Bye. Does that look wrong to you? Does it look too dark?
At the end of the podcast, we just talked here for an hour.
Well, the red light's on, so it looks fine. I mean, we look terrible.